Today we'll be continuing our Resort Spotlight series with Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today's Sunday, May 17th, and you're listening to episode 140, Resort Spotlight, Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. Next Tuesday, May 26th, is a big day. Soarin' Across America will officially open. This is a limited time overlay to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. Rock and Roller Coaster, starring the Muppets, is also opening on that same day. Annual pass holder previews will be going on over the next few days for both of those. So if you find yourself in Walt Disney World this week and you are an annual pass holder, make sure to check that out. The new Bluey experience coming to the Conservation Station at Animal Kingdom is also opening on May 26th. So Disney announced that this will operate a virtual queue. Now, you're going to be able to join the virtual queue at 7 a.m. on the day of your visit to the park. There's going to be a second queue opening at 10 a.m. and you will need to be physically in the park to join that second queue. To do this, you can toggle to the virtual queue section in your My Disney Experience app. It's best practice to get in there just a few minutes before the hour and confirm your party, so essentially the people that are going to be with you, and then be ready to refresh right when the clock strikes 7 or 10, depending on which one you're trying to join. Not 10 seconds later, okay? Not 10 seconds before, literally right on the hour. If you're successful, you're going to be assigned a boarding group with an estimated return time. When your boarding group is called, you generally have an hour to head back to whatever attraction you're going to. In this case, it's that Bluey experience. It works the same way as virtual queues, other virtual queues that Disney has done in the past. So if you have experience with that, this is really much the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Over at Beach Club, Disney quietly extended the timeline for the exterior refurbishment that has been going on for the past few months. Part of the exterior of the resort is sporting some significant scaffolding, and this project is now expected to go into late 2027, which is not an insignificant amount of time.
Agreed.
Having said that, we know that it's necessary to keep the resort looking sharp, so it's definitely a necessary evil.
Yeah, that's right.
Typhoon Lagoon has officially reopened for the summer. Both water parks will be open at the same time. And reminder that Disney Resort guests receive free water park admission on their check-in day from May 26th through to September 8th.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, not a whole lot is new this week. It was just the standard stuff, right? Ball, dance.
It's snowing here today.
Oh, I know. God, that's so demoralizing.
And my cousin lives in northern Saskatchewan,
yeah.
And they received 8 centimeters of snow.
Yeah, we're supposed to get 1 to 3 overnight.
So we're just in full swing of winter right now.
It's May 17th, folks. Like it's supposed to be like in the 20s by the end of the week. So
I'll believe that when I see it, though. Honestly,
it's not gonna. We've had just a funny spring, and winter is just will not leave us alone.
Our kids have had so many ball games canceled just because of the weather. It sucks. Yeah, because they love playing, and we love going to watch them. So
for sure, but we're gonna have a bunch of makeup games.
Yes,
somewhere.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Anyway. With that said, let's get into today's main topic, which will be a resort spotlight of Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort. So Saratoga Springs is in the Disney Springs area of property, and it's actually within walking distance, which is really nice. And we'd say this is actually one of the biggest pros of this resort is the fact that it's so close to Disney Springs. Like if you're planning on spending some time at Disney Springs because, there's a bunch of restaurants you want to try, or you're going to check out the Drawn to Life Cirque du Soleil show, or, you just want to go several times to do some shopping and take advantage of everything it has to offer. Well, it's definitely convenient for that.
Absolutely. So if that is important to you, then this is definitely a good option for you to stay at. And with that, let's quickly cover the history of the resort. It first opened back in May of 2004. It is a Disney Vacation Club resort, so the rooms are deluxe studios and villas. The resort has expanded since its original opening. The Springs and the Paddock sections were added in the spring of 2005. The Carousel and the Grandstand were completed in the summer of 2007. And the Treehouse Villas opened in June of 2009. Now, there are 18 villa buildings totaled with 1,260 guest rooms, plus the 60 treehouse villas. In geographical area, this is the largest resort on property. Not the highest room count, but definitely the most spread out. If you look on the map,
For sure, it is very spread out. Yeah. That's right. The resort is themed to Saratoga Springs, which was a late 1800s retreat known for its horse racing and spas. And you're going to see that kind of theming throughout. It has Victorian style theming, and given that it's a DVC resort, like Lucy mentioned, it is classified as a deluxe resort and comes with all of the perks that come with staying in a deluxe resort, right? Which is nice. It's on Lake Buena Vista, and like I said, it's walking distance to Disney Springs. The buildings have pastel colors, so think like pink, teal, blue, light red, light green, and cream, that kind of color palette. There's cream color accents on the buildings as well, and the balconies or the patios, depending on which floor you're on. If you've ever been to Disney Springs, you've likely seen it in the distance. It's literally right across the water. Like if you're in the area where like the Rainforest Cafe is, not far from Swirls on the Water, just a little bit down from there is a walking path and bridge that leads to the rightmost rooms at the resort. So it's literally like right there.
Yeah, so when you walk into the lobby, you are right into a circular space with a super high ceiling. There are windows set way up there with blue shutters and a large chandelier hanging in the middle of the ceiling. The floor is hardwood with a large blue area rug in the center with some red and green chairs, sofas, and coffee tables. The check-in desks are along the outside walls. The entire space is white and gray tones with some light yellow tones at the check-in desks, with that equestrian and Disney horse artwork theming behind each desk, like the horse from Tangled and Pegasus from Hercules. So love that.
Yeah, like big paintings. Yeah.
Yeah. The theming is not overly Disney, though. It definitely feels a little bit more adult, I guess you could say, than some of the other resorts around property. When I think Saratoga Springs, I think like retired people staying there.
It gives off that vibe, unfortunately, but it's still great. Yeah. From the main lobby, which is named the Carriage House, if you go right, you're going to come to the Artist's Palette, which is the main quick service at the resort. Beyond there is the Turf Club Bar and Grill. And if you keep going from there, you'll find the Fitness Center and the DVC Preview Center. Just a quick note on the Preview Center. It's massive here. It's actually the main one for Walt Disney World Resort. There's always going to be DVC reps there, and they have like mock setups of like rooms and stuff. So if you were going to go to a presentation, this would be a good place to go for it. And across from there is the Win Place or Show Arcade, Community Hall, and the Horsing Around Recreation Rentals. These buildings all wrap around the High Rock Spring Pool, which is kind of like at the back of the main lobby. And on the other side of the pool, you have the Springs area. There are 3 buildings here, and there's actually a large water feature that separates 2 of the buildings with like a water fountain, which is pretty. And directly to the right of this area, you have Congress Park. And these are 4 buildings with a leisure pool in the middle. These are the rooms, like I was alluding to just a minute ago there, that are closest to the bridge that leads to Disney Springs. So literally the rightmost building is like just a couple minutes walk to Disney Springs, which is awesome.
Very convenient. Yeah. And then up from here and kind of in behind the springs is the paddock. There are 5 buildings here, all side by side, and they stretch quite a distance. In the middle, you're going to find the paddock pool. The rightmost buildings are near the Congress Park buildings. The middle buildings are behind the springs. And then the leftmost buildings are nearest to the carousel area. The carousel area only has 2 buildings. Directly to the left of the main building is the grandstand area. And this has 4 buildings here and then a leisure pool as well. And then still to the left of that and furthest away from Congress Park and Disney Springs are the treehouse villas. When you look at the resort on a map, like I was saying earlier, it is massive and spread out.
Yeah, for sure. Like
takes up a lot of space.
100%. Like we said earlier, geographically, it's like just huge.
Yeah.
Big. All right, next up, let's get into room categories. So the room's got a refurb that was completed in the summer of 2021, and it may not seem like that long ago, but it's already been 5 years.
Yeah,
so they're probably due soon actually to have another refurb pretty quickly here. Having said that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the rooms. They're actually really nice and feel bright and upscale. For room categories, you have the Deluxe Studios, right, being a DVC property. And there are 2 options here, just the Standard Studios or the Preferred, which are going to be the rooms closest to Disney Springs. That's going to be over in Congress Park, or the Carriage House, which is the main building. Yeah. Then they have 1 and 2 bedroom villas and the 3 bedroom grand villas. And each of these also have a preferred category. So again, closer distance to the Springs or the Carriage House. And last but not least, you have the Treehouse villas.
Yeah, that's right. The studios sleep up to 4 guests with 1 queen and then 1 queen Murphy bed. They have hardwood floors, tile flooring in the bathroom, pastel-colored paint on the walls with equestrian-themed artwork and subtle Disney touches. The headboard is floral, and there's a pull-down Murphy bed that doubles as a couch. The TV stand doubles as a dresser, and then the patio or balcony has a couple of chairs on it and a small table. And since it is a DVC property, there's a small kitchenette with a coffee maker, a microwave, a toaster, a mini fridge, and then some plates and cutlery as well. It's not a full kitchen here, but it's honestly perfect for just like having a breakfast nook for sure. We loved having that when we stayed at the Polynesian. It was a nice feature for the mornings.
Yep.
The bathrooms have a tub shower combo with a toilet. The pocket door separates that from the sink area and closet. This is definitely some of the most affordable villas on property, with prices being sometimes low, just as low as $300 or so with discounts. So that's actually really
For sure,
cheap.
for a deluxe villa, yep.
But usually upwards of the $400 a night in the low season, and then obviously continuing up from there in the busier times.
Yeah, that's right. And the one-bedroom villas sleep up to 5 with one king bed, one queen Murphy bed, and a twin-size pull-down that comes down from the TV stand like they do in most of the other villas across property. These feature full kitchens, a dining room, seating area, a living room, and of course, a separate bedroom, right? Being a one-bedroom villa. These will be around $800 a night, but you can get them for around $600 a night with discounts during quieter times, which is really nice. The two-bedroom villas sleep up to 9 with one king bed, 2 queen beds, another queen pull-down, and a twin pull-down. Still a full kitchen, laundry. These start at around $1,000 a night and around $800 during the low season with discounts. Again, like, that's unheard of, right? Given
for DVC,
the prices,
yeah.
like, you know, at like Riviera or like, you know, Grand Flow or Poly. Yeah. So just something to keep in mind there. The 3-bedroom grand villas sleep up to 12 with a king bed, 4 queen beds, a 5th pull-down queen. And obviously still a full kitchen, right? Way more space as well. These are massive and they start at well over $1,000 a night and only higher from there. And last but not least, the treehouse villas. These are like pretty unique and they're kind
very unique, actually.
For sure.
Yeah, these are kind of like unique, like the Fort Wilderness is, like with the cabins, right? Like it gives
like
you, and like you can camp there. It's just got
like
that
the bunks
unique
they
vibe.
recently revamped.
Exactly.
There. Yeah.
So it's kind of, these are very cool.
Yes, for sure. They're a little bit more rustic.
Yes.
Yeah. These sleep 9. They have 2 queen beds, 1 queen sleeper sofa, 1 bunk bed, and a twin-size sleeper chair. They have full kitchens and a living room as well, and they also have a nice wraparound porch, and they're kind of elevated off the ground, which is awesome. These start at around $1,300 a night.
Yeah, that's right. And then when it comes to deluxe rooms on property, these are actually priced not too bad. And then for DVC members, it's very point friendly as well. Lots of DVC members love booking here because availability is generally not too bad, and you just get way more bang for your buck.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I should say bang for your points.
Exactly. Bang for your points. That's right. A lot of people overlook Saratoga, but it's definitely a good option if you want to stay at a deluxe resort without breaking the bank. Yeah.
I think our neighbors just stayed there actually last time they were there, and they did a whole video and they seem to really enjoy it.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, now let's talk dining. So like we touched on earlier, in the carriage house, you're going to find Artist's Palette, which is the main quick service restaurant at the resort. The space is bright and colorful with yellowish and greenish walls, colorful light fixtures, large blue trimmed windows, and exposed beam ceilings. There's a decent amount of seating here as well. So for breakfast, they have their usual offerings like breakfast platters, tacho bowls, waffles, a breakfast sandwich, and French toast. They also have a full bakery with cinnamon rolls, croissants, and other assorted pastries. They also have the grab-and-go options as well. So think fruits, oatmeal, yogurt, cereals, similar things like that.
Yeah, that's right. And then for lunch and dinner, they have a chicken and rice bowl, a brisket sandwich, avocado toast, chicken strips, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, a turkey wrap, and a tuna salad croissant. They have a ton of sweet options for desserts. So this includes the Artist's Palette cookie, which has like icing paint and a strawberry biscuit paintbrush.
That's cute.
So very cute. There's also specialty coffees and beer, wine, and cocktails options as well. This also doubles as the merchandise store, which is the Artist's Palette shop. There you're going to find the usual merch, right? Including resort exclusive merchandise and DVC Saratoga Springs specific stuff.
Each DVC resort has their own specific DVC merch as well as just regular resort merch.
Exactly. That's only available to DVC members.
So there's lots of merch to choose from.
For sure.
The DVC ones.
Yeah, exactly. And then they also have some essentials, right? So think like over-the-counter meds, sunscreen, toothpaste, things like that. And then like toast, peanut butter, cereal, and milk, and just like some sundries that you can just take back to your room. And not far from there, you have the Turf Club Bar and Grill. So just a quick note on the Turf Club. Now through mid-September of 2026, the Bar and Grill and attached Turf Club are undergoing refurbishment. So from early May through late August, the Turf Club Lounge is closed. The Turf Club Bar and Grill remains open, though, and there's actually a pop-up bar serving a modified menu. From mid-August through late August, the Turf Club patio is going to be closed, and then from late August through late September, the bar and grill will be closed, and then the Turf Club Lounge will remain open during that closure. So a little bit confusing
Lots going on there, yeah.
But long story short, the lounge is going to be closed for a long time. Restaurant remains open, and then when the restaurant closes for a short time, the lounge will be open. So
there's always something, but not the full
exactly.
experience.
They won't be both closed at the same time is what it boils down to.
Yeah, exactly. So as of this recording, the space is themed to a racetrack clubhouse. The space is actually pretty dark with dark green carpet, dark wooden walls and ceiling accents, and then the dark chairs and tables. The lounge has similar vibes and color palette, but the walls and furniture are a little lighter with some creme accents in here. It's safe to say that this space could look a little or a lot different when they reopen after the refurbishments, but only time is going to tell on that front. As far as the menu goes, the appetizers you've got are French onion soup, sweet and spicy Brussels sprouts, a wedge salad. That always makes me think of Modern Family when Claire was trying to convince Phil to eat a wedge salad.
That's right. And then Skip Woosnam or whatever tells him, like, oh yeah, he told me about
never
this.
Listened to her.
Exactly. He told me about this wedge salad. It's delicious. And then like she pitches like the broccoli at him and he's like, he can't figure it out. Yeah. Anyways.
Because he listened to his friend, not his wife.
That's right. That's right. I love that show.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And then you've also got golden fried calamari, an onion ring tower, and sauteed shrimp. For entrees, you've got the prime rib, salmon, New York strip steak, grilled pork chop, tempura fried hen of the wood mushroom, which is plant-based, pappardelle scallop pasta, buttermilk herb chicken, and the Turf Club burger.
That's right. And then for dessert, they have a cheesecake, a chocolate cake, the salted caramel creme brulee, and a seasonal cobbler. And then, of course, they have a full bar. On the lounge side, they have the Turf Club burger and sweet and spicy Brussels sprouts as well, plus the buffalo chicken dip, the crispy chicken wings, a giant pretzel, and of course, a full bar, right? We've actually never eaten at either of these places, but it may be worth checking out when they reopen.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, next up is the On the Rocks Pool Bar, which is right next to the High Rock Spring Pool. You've got a few salad options here, several sandwiches and chicken strips, thin crust pizza, Uncrustables, and mac and cheese for the kids. There's also zero proof cocktails and a full bar as well. It's a good place to grab a bite to eat while you're at the pool area without having to go inside at the Artist's Palette, which again is the main quick service.
Yeah, that's right. And then over near the paddock area, near the paddock pool, you've got the Paddock Grill. This is a quick service location that serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for breakfast, they have bacon, egg, and cheese bagel sandwiches, Mickey waffles, a yogurt parfait, and assorted pastries. For lunch and dinner, they have a cheeseburger, a chicken or shrimp power bowl, chicken strips, blackened shrimp tacos. I bet you those would be good.
Mm-hmm.
A buttermilk fried chicken sandwich. And as a plant-based option, they have the Paddock black bean burger. They also have a kids version hamburger, chicken strips, and turkey sandwich kids pack. They also have Mickey ice cream bar, ice cream sandwich, chocolate fudge brownie, and chocolate chunk cookies. And of course, a full bar as well.
And over in the grandstand area, next to their leisure pool, you'll find the Backstretch Pool Bar. Here they have a Saratoga turkey wrap, a foot-long hot dog, a Caesar salad with grilled chicken, and they also have light bites, so think churros, popcorn, fruit and cheese, Mickey pretzels, pickle in a pouch. Not sure what that is.
Oh, that's a very American thing. That is like a big pickle.
Okay.
That's in a pouch, literally, with just like juices and stuff. And it's like, you can get them spicy, regular. I see it all the time on like reels.
Okay. Anyway, mixed fruit cups and a turkey sandwich kids pack as well. They also have ice cream bars and sandwiches, chocolate chunk cookies, fudge brownies, bears and dirt, and a banana pudding cup as well. And then, of course, a few cocktail options. Given the size of the resort, there's actually not that many dining options, right? But that doesn't really matter because, like we said earlier, it's walking distance to Disney Springs, which has literally way too many options to choose from, right? So like between their table service restaurants, quick service, snack locations, you got places like Homecoming, Raglan Road, Boathouse, Morimoto Asia, Frontera Casino, Summer House on the Lake. And then like on the quick service side, you got like Polite Pig and Earl of Sandwich, and then like snacks like,
Swirls on the water?
Swirls on the Water and Gideon's and just,
lots.
Just to name a few,
It's
right?
almost overwhelming.
Exactly. There's no shortage of dining options within just a short distance. So that's definitely a big pro for this resort for sure.
All right, next up, let's talk pools and recreation. So like we've alluded to a couple times already, behind the carriage house, so behind the main lobby, you have the High Rock Springs pool. It features waterfalls, zero depth entry, and a 128-foot long slide built into the rocks. You also have 2 whirlpool spas and a splash pad area for the younger kids, named the Donald Duck Play Area. It also has a mini water slide there as well, which is nice for the littles.
Yeah, for sure.
Over in the paddock area is the paddock pool. This is the nearest one to the center building back there. It features a 146-foot water slide that flows down from a water tower. That's actually pretty cool that 2 of their pools have water slides.
Yeah, but given the size of the resort, it makes sense. Yeah.
But that doesn't always happen at the other resorts,
Right.
so that's really exciting.
You're right. Yeah.
It also has a zero depth entry, and you're going to find a large horseshoe-shaped whirlpool spa. There's a splash pad for the kids here too, featuring 2 small water slides, including one that curves. So that's actually really exciting for the little ones. They don't usually get that kind of excitement.
Yeah.
Outside of that, there are 2 leisure pools at the grandstand area, Congress Park, and then the Treehouse Villas. Each of these areas also has whirlpool spas too. The grandstand and Congress Park areas have playgrounds for the kids as well. So this is actually a really kid-friendly resort. Even, like I said, even though it gives retirement folk vibes, it's actually very kid-friendly. The fact that it has playgrounds, not all of them have playgrounds.
Yeah, a lot of them do. But like the point being is that every Disney resort, doesn't matter if it's like Saratoga or Riviera or Grand Flow, if initially doesn't strike you as like being super kid-friendly, it's Disney, right? So it will be kid-friendly. Yeah. And for other recreation options, like all Disney resorts, right, there are Movies Under the Stars. That's just outside of Artist's Palette, outside of the Carriage House. So right now on Mondays, it's Lilo and Stitch. Wednesdays is Moana. And Fridays is Zootopia 1 or 2. There are also nightly campfires. That's near the Disney Vacation Club Preview Center. Right now, it's between 6 and 7 p.m. But that's likely going to be a little bit later soon if it's not already, with the days getting longer. There are poolside activities daily from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the High Rock Spring Pool deck. And these are family-friendly activities, right, that are led by cast members. There's also Glow with the Flow parties. That's also at the High Rock Spring Pool deck on Thursdays and Sundays between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. And then over at the Turf Club Bar and Grill, there is nighttime bingo. That's on Tuesdays from 7:30 to 8:30. So that could be fun.
That would be fun.
Yep. And then outside of Community Hall, you can make Mickey tie-dye shirts on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m.
Inside Community Hall, daily from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., you can make crafts, borrow sports equipment. There are complimentary ping pong and foosball tables, video games, DVDs, board games, and other activities throughout the day. So that's actually a really good option if it's really rainy out and you just can't even be outside.
For sure.
That's a great space to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also at the Turf Club patio on Mondays and Fridays at 9 p.m., an expert from Disney's Animals, Science, and Environment team will host a conversation about the purple martins that live on property. There is also Disney Fit Yoga on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. at Congress Park on the green space overlooking Disney Springs. It's a nice place to do yoga.
Absolutely.
There is also Storytime Yoga on Saturdays, also at 9 a.m., same place. Outside of that, you have bike and Surrey bike rentals, fishing, tennis courts, a basketball court, beautiful running or walking trails along Lake Buena Vista. There's also the Wind Place or Show Arcade and the Health Club, which is the gym and spa facility. And then last but not least, Disney's Lake Buena Vista golf course is right next to the resort if you're wanting to squeeze in a round of golf. That's why it makes me feel retirement folk.
Yes, yeah, totally.
That is like a great resort when you're almost going to just stay on resort.
For sure. If you were going to do like a resort
often,
only stay and like just
spot.
Go to Disney Springs and stuff, yeah, for sure.
If you wanted to eat great every night and then have lots to do on property,
maybe check out Drawn to Life.
And you never
like
go into the parks.
Earlier.
This is the spot.
Definitely. All right, next up, in terms of location and transportation, like we said earlier, right, it's in the Disney Springs area. Okay, so like we mentioned, there are rooms that are literally just a few minutes walk, and then you're in Disney Springs. But the resort is so spread out that if you're on the other end of the resort, it could be a pretty decent walk depending on how quickly you walk, right? So if you prefer, you can actually take the Sassagoula River Cruise boats from the dock at the resort, which is not far from the Carriage House. And that takes you to the landing area in Disney Springs. So that's an option as well. And it's actually a fun way to get to the Springs from Saratoga. Outside of that, it's buses to the parks, right? So the first stop is the grandstand, followed by the carousel, then the paddock, Congress Park, and then finally the Springs for a total of 5.
That's a lot.
Yeah. If you don't want to take a boat to Disney Springs or they're just not running because like the water's too low, sometimes that happens. Or if you don't want to walk, the pickup order is usually reversed for Disney Springs. Most of the resorts do this with Disney Springs buses for whatever reason, right? They just reverse order or they change the order.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. And if you're staying at the Treehouse Villas, there's actually an internal shuttle that will take you to the other bus stops, right? So if you're trying to make rope drop in the morning, your best bet is probably just to walk to one of the other bus stops. And the closest one is the grandstand. So like some of the Treehouse Villas are going to be pretty far from grandstand still, but it's still, in my opinion, better like to walk the 10 to 15 minutes to get there than to
wait.
Yeah,
for
totally.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, now for the pros and cons. So pros, the rooms are spacious here. Some of them are the most spacious on property. It's generally not nearly as expensive as some of the other DVC and deluxe resorts on property. So your dollars and your points are going to go further here. Plus, you have super quick access to Disney Springs. So if you plan on visiting Disney Springs a few times, this will certainly be worth it for you.
Yeah, for sure. For cons, it's a massive resort, right? We talked about that. And depending on where you're staying, you could be pretty far from the carriage house and Disney Springs. And then by extension, right, that means an internal bus loop, like we were just saying. So yeah, if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that like the bus loops are not a deal breaker for us, but we know that it is for some. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you're considering a stay here. If you're looking for heavy Disney theming, you also won't find that here, right? It definitely has more like subtle touches. Also, if this is your first trip, like Lucy kind of touched on this, being close to Disney Springs might not be super high on your list in that sense, right? It's a little bit further out from the parks, which can make it feel a little bit out of the way, I guess you could say. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Depending what you're going for. But if you want to be kind of in the middle of the action, this probably isn't the resort for you.
Yeah, agreed. So with that, would we recommend a stay here? For sure, 100%. If you want to visit Disney Springs lots, or if you prefer a quiet, calm resort with good value proposition, this could be the perfect resort for you. But on the flip side, like Oliver said, if you prefer a more compact resort or want to be in the action or somewhere with heavier Disney theming, you may want to pass on Saratoga Springs.
Yeah, totally. And for us in our final thoughts, we actually really like Saratoga, right? Having been to Disney lots, we don't need to be in the middle of everything, right? Or have anywhere super themed, and a good value with deluxe perks, like so, right?
Huge.
Exactly. So let's say you're paying like, $300-400 a night and you get access to extended evening hours. Yeah. It can be, it's like Lucy said, it's a good value proposition for sure.
Yeah. And because we've chosen to make Disney our vacation for the next little while, we actually only go to Disney Springs usually once.
Yep.
And so we love so many restaurants there. We usually have to debate which one are we going to go to this time.
Yep.
So if we stayed there, we'd probably eat there almost every night, honestly.
We would
and
be
just
likely
hit up a lot of the different restaurants that we are always debating. Oh, should we pass on this one and not go to this one?
Yes, I would say we would definitely be more likely to eat there more than once for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree with that. With that said, thank you for joining us today to talk Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And as always, if you could leave us a rating and review, it would be greatly appreciated. If you choose to do so, you can leave reviews right on Apple Podcasts. And for Spotify, you can leave a rating.
You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Go.to-Disney, as well as on our Facebook page, Let's Go to Disney. We share some helpful reels here as well as some fun ones. The link tree in the show notes will take you to all of our socials.
Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.